Hello everyone, this is the third tutorial for Realpolitiks 3 Beyond Earth, and we'll be looking into the political side of the game. I would like to show you all the important windows that have to do with politics, a few quick moves, and also how to get out of the crises that could be caused by bad political decisions. So first of all, the starting political window is the internal policy. This is a window that gives you all the information you need about your country, its political system, the effects, where on the militarism, personal control, intervention, religiousness, and conservative axis it stands. And in terms of effects it brings to you and to your country, and how stable you currently are at the moment. The second window is not just an overview, but it essentially tells you, okay, this is the current composition of your parliament. The largest party is the party of government, always after winning the election. You can call for martial law here in case your political system or your constitution allows for it. You can check out the elections preview, which basically tells you the polls of the current parties, with the monarchist party being about to overtake the liberal conservatives with the 23%. So unless something substantial happens to support the government, there'll be a new leading party of the government coming up the year after. This, as I have mentioned, is the compendium shortcut. Anytime you click one of these useful little question marks, you'll get the concrete section in the compendium, and you can check out what, in the terms of politics, can be done in Realpolitiks 3. But those are just the basics. Let's check out the rest. So, in terms of the influence of political parties in the game, they influence everything. So, in case you, for example, would like to build a new building, there needs to be at least 51% majority, as these are substantial structures and will influence the future and the progress of the country. So unless you have all the votes, you cannot build. The same goes for the projects. Again, parliamentary majority is required here. So this is not just a futile exercise. You have to maintain the majority either by getting the governmental party enough votes or by the oldest tool in the pencil case, which is lobbying, aka bribing. The bribery will last for some time, and it will allow you to push through things you wouldn't be able to without the cash. The third tab in the internal policy is the Constitution. It is a tool that allows you to change into whatever system you would like by focusing on the parameters. Again, the case here is if a change is to come, you have to fulfill the requirements of the change, and that can be followed through the green and red compliance, or you can check out the detail for the levers of power over here in the system as they change. So that's a wholesale change. You can easily change from monarchy to a republic. This is a change that is simple, usually supported. It is much harder to change from a republican system to monarchist or to dictatorial one. You have to have a slew of things go the right way. And returning back to monarchy is always difficult. You have to have a greater conservatism in the populace. You have to have a great personal control, and that comes at a price that you might not be able to pay or afford. This is one of the main systems of the game. You are fully invited to take advantage of all the options, try different systems, try different configuration of the constitution, and sometimes you can have very funny results with things like theocracies and so on once you have altered some of these constitutional doctrines. It is very simple to do both, again, just as any change to a doctrine within the constitution carries certain expectations. So in case of Sweden, we have grown it by taking over Norway. We would like to either go through the support of the more conservative parties, and it seems that the majority is not there yet. So let's simply buy our way into this. We'll need more action points here. Now, the election happens. We have the monarchist party winning, and if the player wants a selected party to have a larger majority by getting more votes, they can lend 3 levels of support in the democratic systems, but this is seen as usurpatory, as an act against legitimate will of the people, and it will result in very high unrest that will take a while to control. So let's give the monarchist party what it wants to control, and the victory, making it the strongest party of 38% and the 38 seats in the parliament. So that is the internal policy. Alongside this, if you decide to help out the government in power, you can use one of the province actions and either the special events or campaigns that you can unlock to boost the government up. Again, this is one of the boosts that you can make better and raise the probability of the success by using the destiny points that you have left. As we mentioned before in the previous tutorial, by clicking on the portrait of your head of state, you'll open up the government window. This is a new tool introduced in Realpolitiks 3 and is a key component to control of the country. If you ignore this window and you will let it run, you will fail. Usually because the unrest will grow beyond what can be controlled. Usually because you will not attain the bonuses that both the head of the state and head of the government, depending on the government type, can bring outside the ministries and so on. So in this case, we have a monarchical system with parliament. We have both head of the state, head of the government. These are the two characters that you can improve by gaining XP. This is a leveling system that, based on the actions that always gain you experience by scrolling over the experience bar, you can see what gains you how many XP points. And you can improve not only these characters, but also the way your country functions as they bring in substantial buffs with some debuffs that come naturally to them as people. So in this case, King Carl Gustav has gained a level. I have an opportunity to increase his skill in one of the branches. So yeah, army logistics sounds great. Might save us some money. So let's go that way. He will keep on getting more and more experience. This is a case where you want to maintain the system with the most experienced leader that you can level up and ensure the great prosperity for your nation. For the head of the government, these are not direct buffs. You are getting the skill points that will improve one of his political skills. So if you get a really low skilled leader, you can improve him to the point of competency without having to resort to either overthrowing his government or replacing it with a different party, since, as it is clear, the leader of the party or the prime minister cannot be replaced in the current political system. So these are the ministries. You have several of them, again depending on the political system. In a democratic system, it allows you to control the varied levers of power and stock up the government with the competence from your party, which you will always see by the icon of the seat. So the seat icon gives you an overview who you can use to replace any single person on the ticket of these ministers, apart from the prime minister, premier, or head of the government. So let us see. We are not getting any bonuses here. We need a more competent minister, so we shall replace Mr. Vidar by an alternative. This is the cost. And now that we have replaced him with Jarle Lundstedt as the Minister of Defense, finally have someone capable at the head of the ministry, saving up 5% of our budget. But the ministers are not the only factor in the good ministry setup. So you can see we have a very low combined skill in the Ministry of Health, and thanks to that, our population growth is very low. We can take a direct action to improve that understanding by replacing the other bureaucrats in the ministry. As you can see, the overall skill has risen substantially to our advantage. Now, our inflation is also not going down. Let's see if we can improve that as well. And we will have a constant situation where it will be going down by simply replacing the High Representative if in the Royal Commission. So these are some of the changes that you can make, some of the ways to improve the way your government functions and improve the lives of people overall, get the bonuses, get what you need. You can use the Minister Summary to see all of the changes where you are in the red, quickly identify the problematic ministries and deal with them just as I have. Just remember, each of these changes costs you a little bit and increases the maintenance cost of the state. So in case you have very expensive ministries, you will have to be very careful as you move forward. I can only afford it because my state has just won a war and we have an influx of cash coming in with a substantial saved up money for the rainy day. The way of life shows off the way you handle the state and where from liberalism to tyranny it is placed at the moment. It opens up special actions, special appointments if you have the destiny points to paid it with. So consolidation of power, one of the few ways how to gather additional stability. You will have to pay for it though, not a cheap way to go. And it will give you additional info as to what you can do in the future. Finally, the national heritage is a special mechanic that allows you to slowly add varied buffs to your nation as it chooses its own path towards greater glory in the future. So as you build up, you can choose whichever path you would like, different for each and every single country. And depending on your choice. So that is the government window. Finally, let's take a look at diplomacy and the blocs, the foreign policies of your country. It is very simple to check out the current standing of your country within the diplomacy window. You can make certain changes and decisions from out here, get the additional details under your purview. So not only can you isolate things like the 10 most powerful countries, you can check out who is on the verge to be invited into a bloc. You can also isolate it to your neighbors or your rivals if you really want to. Now, you will see how liked your country is in the world, thanks to my warmongering and taking Norway with its substantial oil reserves I am being hated by the world, so I'll have to work very hard in terms of getting that hatred down a bit. You can always see the blocs pacts just by simply clicking. You can check out all of that information and see where you are currently as a country. Well, it seems that Sweden is making its way around the world. Fourth largest. Now let's talk political blocs. Blocs are these very democratic institutions that allow you to participate in their votes in terms of new integrators that carry varied buffs and advantages or disadvantages and debuffs. Blocs window also shows you which blocs you are the member of. You can leave a bloc if you really want to, pressing leave. You can kick off a country if you have the majority. There are also elections if you have canvassed enough voters, and that is the reason for maintaining as high relations with other countries in the bloc to get the vote for whatever reason or whatever policy or whatever integrator you would like to get it. You can always create your own blocs if you have the votes, if you have someone who would like to share it with you. So through standard diplomatic actions, you improve the relations with the country and you roll the dice on whether this will be your destiny. Diplomatic actions are another part of politics. Through this undocked window, you can choose to conduct whichever way you want to the diplomatic choices of your country. Do not forget that each such choice is blocking part of your influence among other costs. The standard aggressive actions such as war have to be premeditated if you do not want to be called a warmonger. In that case, you want to find a territorial claim that will prevent that from happening or will dramatically lower such a problem. As I've said, you can create a bloc with other country if it is to their advantage, if it is something they would like to have. So creating a bloc of your own, in this case either a social or authoritarian bloc, is one of the possible goals that you might have. Having someone on your side is as close as a treaty for defense would be in case this is a military bloc, or if economic, it's a very nice boost to the economy. Obviously, you can always choose a treaty of different kinds in case you want to be very active in the international politics, slowly build up your friendships, slowly build up your pacts. You want to make sure that you are maintaining the projects in the diplomatic category. Maintain projects in diplomatic category. There is a huge difference between a state that would like to maintain as many relationships as it can and a tyrant who uses diplomacy to further his conquests and control.